Hello, everybody. Welcome to the in-depth Resident Evil comic book review, issue number 1. Come on, give me a second here. All right, so I'm back. Yeah, this is my in-depth guide or in-depth review of the first Resident Evil. My apologies for the lighting, of course. I'll do my best. But without further ado, let's begin. So we're greeted with the Jim Lee cover, which is really damn good. And yeah, it comes with 4 complete stories. They have interviews, character designs, as you can see right there, which is pretty much the bulk of it. Now, the introduction starts off how these guys were big fans. I mean, I'm not gonna read it all, but well, I'll read the first paragraph. So, welcome, dear reader, to the world of survival horror, the world of Resident Evil. The magazine you hold in your hands is the result of a unique collaboration between the worlds of comics and video games, creating something we hope is totally new. So, the idea for this magazine was initially hatched by my friend and colleague Ted Adams, who, like myself, has a mania for video games. When Resident Evil was released, we were immediately struck by its unique gameplay and spooky feel, and thought the subject matter would naturally lend itself to the comic format, which it does. And yeah, just go on to say how much they love the games, and you know, you could tell they really enjoyed doing this. And then here's a little thing. I just noticed this like a couple seconds ago. This is the first printing. Why is this blurry? But yeah, so pretty much it starts off with this guy. It should be Brian Irons, but it's not. He's pretty much briefing Wesker on the situation. As you can see in the bottom, the only STARS agent currently in Raccoon City is Joseph Frost, and he's just saying that his next assignment is in Raccoon City, and obviously this guy doesn't know what's up. So right after that, Wesker talks to Umbrella, how it's all going under plan. If you're not familiar with the series, this is like an immediate spoiler, which is hilarious. But I mean, when these guys made these comics, they made them in mind for the fans. So you know, you should already be familiar with Resident Evil. Also, if you don't know what Resident Evil is and you're in this channel, stop watching. Go type in YouTube Resident Evil 1 walkthrough, no commentary. Or you can keep watching, but there's like major spoilers. This is pretty much the first game. So after that, Wesker does his report to Umbrella, and he just talks. He's just briefing. Pretty much, we're briefing the reader on what's going on. So it just says that they sent in STARS, and that like right here, STARS will also be available in case T-virus experiments get out of hand. So they're there pretty much, as you guys already know. STARS members are there for experimentation, see how these creatures react in combat, and in case, well, they put it here that, you know, in case things get out of hand. And yeah, Barry Burton will act as a second in command in the Alpha team and as a weapons expert. You know, I don't know why he mentioned just Barry, but it might be because of the whole extortion thing, which actually it is. Yeah, it says here you can easily be manipulated, which is true, like in the story. After that, he goes into detail with each Bravo team. So as you can tell, like, Enrico is just meant for action. He's got the most field experience. Talk about Richard, how he can use the CB radio really well. Rebecca she's pretty much useless, but she's a really good medic. But she's useless in combat. And then Chemist Kevin Sullivan and Forrest Spewer, which is a really good sniper. He's never missed a shot, as you can clearly tell. What? I don't know what this is about. In case the T-virus gets out, I recruited one of STAR's best chemists. I don't know what he would do if the virus went out, but you know. And then Joseph Frost is in charge of the maintenance of the helicopter. And then talk about Brad, who's the pilot, who's a coward. Then he goes, it's pretty much briefing every character, as I said before. Chris Redfield, he was what was it? He was kicked out of the Air Force because they told him to leave a man behind, but he didn't do it. And then Jill's just a master of unlocking, so they kind of knew. They kind of knew the jokes. So yeah, it's just pretty much briefing what they're doing before, you know, they head out to the mansion. And damn, dude, the art is just so good in this. I really didn't appreciate it until until I got older. So we go into the second story. Oh, hi. Yeah, you just got done reading it too. I did the same thing like 2 hours ago. Then I was going to review, but then I took a nap. But yeah. Anyways, it continues on to a different story, which is it talks about John, who was supposed to be Ada's boyfriend from Resident Evil 2, and he's kind of explaining how, you know, he's pretty much he's giving the reader what he's all about. So he joined Umbrella. He thought he was gonna do some like research for medicine and cure for cancer, and this is pretty much just giving a backstory how he joined Umbrella. So he talks about how they started experimenting on this dog, the T-virus. They put it into this dog, and how it started deteriorating, but it grew more aggressive and stronger. And yeah, that's pretty much this scene. I really like this area in general, the way they did it. It's really, really well made. Then you see here, obviously the dog gets aggressive and he starts breaking through his chains or whatever. Not the chains, the straps, sorry. And yeah, he says he doesn't hope it doesn't reach the city, but then he says that his work is kind of getting to him, and you can tell this body's starting to deteriorate, but he doesn't know it's because of the virus. Well, not yet. And we go on into the basement level of the mansion. Oh, well, not the mansion, of the what do you call it? The greenhouse. It talks about how the Neptune started showing some deterioration, and he's trying to find out what makes it like that, and how each creature is affected by the T-virus differently. Because if they can find out why some deteriorate faster than others, it could be like a breakthrough for the medicine. And then on the next panel here, he kind of knows that he's being watched. He has this feeling, and it's just it's pretty much getting out of hand at this point. And as you can see right there, he is being watched. He's being monitored by two people. And dude, this guy looks like Chris Redfield. Obviously it's not, but yeah. He's starting to feel paranoid. He thinks he got infected. They're testing everybody in the compound. It says on the bottom, we're testing everyone in the compound. Will know the results within a week. I won't be able to live with myself if you've been infected by something I worked on. I love you, John. So obviously at this point, he's infected, and you can tell by the hands. It's a dead giveaway. And he pretty much tells Ada about the passwords in the laboratory. They even put the mole here. And well, that's the password for he tells me, you know, his name is John for the username, and then Ada's the password, and the other password is mole. So after that, you just kind of see him here, and his writing is just bad now. So it's kind of like the Itchy Tasty. And then, you know, he's buzzing about. Oh no, those are the flies. Then Smash, for some reason, he just turns around. And obviously you see our first hero, which is Jill. And right here, this has got to be the most badass art of Jill I've ever seen. It reminds me of like one of those 80s action women that you see in movies. So that's her. They give her the whole body shot, and it is freaking amazing. I always love this Jill. He's obviously a little bit human, so he's asking for help here. And then she just kind of aims, and then she just blasts his ass. And there's different dramatic shots of it. It's kind of awesome. So after that, you get cut to this scene right here of some part in the lab. As you can see, Jill's like, who are these guys? And you can see Wesker's reflection in the thing right here, the screen. We're skipping that for copyright reasons. The ads. Skipping this for copyright reasons. Pretty much it's the interview where Mikami said that there was these 2 characters that they cut out. But that was about it. And it's just regular stuff. Stuff we already know. So, we go into our third story here. The Resident Evil Dangerous Secrets. This one is pretty much the briefing after. And as you can tell, Chris is here. He's going to recap what's going on. You can see Barry is already giving that like that shifty eye, like, oh man, they're going to bring me up. So, pretty much this is a recap of the first game. Really quickly. They start off, well, Chris starts explaining how they got a request for help from Raccoon City and the police department and about the mysterious murders and everything. So they set out to see what's going on. And right here, Rebecca mentions that they survived the crash, but they're attacked by monsters. And then she starts to instigate Barry a bit, but then Chris tells her to ease up, that we'll get to it. So they just show them running in here. And then Chris talks about how he first saw Kenneth, which was already dead. He was already dead. And then Jill goes on to say about how she ran into Forrest. And here's the shot, which is freaking amazing. And obviously this is supposed to be, what do you call it? Well, I forget. I'm not gonna nitpick. I usually would nitpick, but like the fact that they did such a good job on this comic, dude, I can't really hate. So she goes on how to say how she found Richard, obviously bitten by the snake, and the mysterious traitor has shot Enrico. But you know, you already know that it's Wesker by then. So then Chris, you see more shots of Chris. He's just talking about what's been going on, and he's gonna piece together what he's got so far. So he just talks about how they know it's Wesker, and that they stumbled on a method of mutating genetic material. So pretty much they were trying to make a super soldier, but it failed, obviously. And it was the perfect soldier, as he just states here: mindless, fearless, deadly, and easily disposable. So, and then Umbrella had wanted to test on humans, so Umbrella used its own employees to test them out. So in the next scene, it's just more stuff how these monsters are attacking the city. As you can see, the hunters here are just disemboweling somebody. And you know, Wesker talks about how Wesker picks stars because they need somebody that's trained to collect data, you know, for fighting purposes. And here's a little nice scene of the Tyrant, which was one of their main things they wanted to get to. And then right here, just another overshot of them flying over. This explains why the more inexperienced Bravo team was sent in first. They were basically a warm-up for the main event. And that was Bravo team going over to the mansion. And this part gets weird right here, because he talks about how how Wesker locked Jill in the cell. And she's like, watch your back, he's probably still close by. But then she interrupts and is like, huh? But Chris, it was you. It's like, not now, Jill. We've got most of the mission to recap. And then she says, what is he talking about? I found him in the cell. Now, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but they never cover this. And if they do, it's probably in the second issue, which I will read. I'll read up on that tomorrow. Yeah, it was really, really well made. So Chris goes on. And he talks about how, he shot Rebecca. Again, actually, how would he know this if he was in the jail cell? But whatever. And then this is a really good picture of Wesker just getting what he deserves by the tyrant. And after that, he's presumed dead. And then Chris goes on to fight this, which is a really beautiful shot right here. And he says, it took over 12 shots of my 10 gauge to kill it. Thank God I'm stockpiled all that ammo. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I do understand that. I think that was what they were mentioning about how, depending on who you play as, the other characters in the jail. It's just that in the comic, I don't know if that was a joke or if there was something. There was probably a deeper reason why Chris was lying, and that's what I thought too. I think that was just an Easter egg for us. But on the next panels, you can see they changed the artist because Jill is now blonde, and Rebecca looks like I forgot that one character, not Danger Girl, but anyways. Here it is. See. Rebecca and I armed a mansion self-destruct system. And then Rebecca, after springing Jill from her jail cell, of course, and then Jill's like, whatever. So they CV Brad to come pick him up. Jill and Rebecca stay back to fight the monsters while Chris goes up the, what do you call it? Whatever, the elevator. Fires the flare so Brad can see it as he's flying over to pick them up. Boom, the second appearance of the Tyrant comes out. And, it just shocked everything. And here's like a really good shot of it. So, after this, Chris arms a automatic. I don't know where he got it from, but, it's comics. And he just sprays into him really well as it's already coming up. Brad, without fear, gets out of the pilot seat and he throws a rocket launcher to Chris. Apparently it was his. Brad saw my predicament and tossed me his rocket launcher. Was he really that scared? And so, Chris takes aim. Game over, which is Leon's quote. Pulls the trigger. Blam! And then the Tyrant is just obliterated. So, after that ordeal was over, they get on the helicopter, and then the mansion blows up with them, leaving. We were first safely away when it went up. First there was a deep rumble, then the sky lit up with fire. And that brings our characters up to date. But then Rebecca comes out and she starts saying that Barry was in cahoots with Wesker. So Chris just barely finds out about it. He's like, how could you? And he's about to lay into him, but then Jill tells him that his family was being, what do you call it? They were being taken as hostages because of Wesker, and there's a file that Wesker was holding. So he had to comply, or else, the family would get the axe. And in this comic, Barry knows everything that was going on with Umbrella. They never made that clear, honestly, but I would believe it. And they start talking about the G-Virus, how it's just much worse than the T-Virus. As you can see, the liquors there. So this is introducing Resident Evil 2. More exposition about what's going to happen, or what happened. So pretty much they're just wrapping up the report. And they're going to start, up to here, they're going to go to Europe. Chris, the next panel, Chris talks about how he hope Claire doesn't go there, I think it was. We'll see right now. But Leon's driving this really snazzy sports car to Raccoon City. And here's the first shot, which at first I thought Leon was ripped, but it's just the outfit. It's really well made, though. And you can see the zombie coming at him. And he's about to shoot him. So he's got a bad feeling about this, as he says right there. Hopefully Jill and I can answer some questions in Europe, but first I gotta contact my sister Claire, which I guess he doesn't. And here she is on her bike. She's on her way already. He kind of doesn't want her to come over, but she's already on her way. So that's the end of that break. Skip all this for copyright reasons. You can find all that art online. It's just scrap stuff from Resident Evil 1 and 2. So we come into what I believe is our last story. Raccoon City, rest in peace. I thought this was a museum at first. But it turned out this is the mansion. It's just like really small. And I'm only thinking it's the mansion because of the helicopter that's going away. So this happens right after. What the hell? There's water over there? Okay. Raccoon City is obviously under Umbrella's thumb. And they have the media on their side. So they're saying that there's a flu. And that the water is not contaminated. Which it really is, as you can see. And the newscaster guy is urging people to see a doctor if they don't feel well. This guy is obviously turning. He has the water there. He leaves it. Doctor downtown. And I kind of like this one because it covers Ada and it covers Ben Bertolucci really well. They just, they tie in how they got there and stuff like that. So, anyways, this is Ada driving. She almost runs over this guy. And she gets out of the car. It's like, you got some kind of death wish or something? Hey, what's with your skin? So this guy lunges at her. Dude, that does not look like Ada. Looks like an X-Men character. So she shoves the guy. She pulls the gun out and she just pulls the trigger on him. And she knows already, Birkin has a lot to explain. So we cut to the lab in Resident Evil 2. Birkin's already excited about his G-Virus. Ada comes in. She comes barging in saying what the hell's going on, He's got a lot to answer to. And then she's asking where John is. And he's going to be sorry if something happened to him. And of course, very ominous, John is unavailable at this time. But I'm sure you're here to check up on the G-Virus. My research has finally paid off. It's like, damn, he won't shut up about the G-Virus. Well, for good reason. So she's saying that, Stars is going to be on them if they find out. And then Ben's in one of the shafts. So he kind of knows what's going on now. So we cut to him getting out of there. I don't know how he got out, but he gets out. And he goes into a bar. He's asking for a beer. And he's telling the guy, like, hey, there's zombies around. So you better get out. And this guy's like, whatever you say, pal. But I'm still serve you beer even though you're crazy. And then the zombies burst out just out of nowhere. The guy's like, what the hell? He's like, see, they're everywhere. So this guy just starts blasting these zombies away while Ben just kind of angrily walks away. It's like, I'm out of here. He goes into the kendo shop, which is pretty awesome. And these guys are kind of like turning into zombies already, but they're just kind of chill. Like, yeah, whatever. So he bursts through, right? And one of Kendall's friends here, he's asking for more rounds. So I'm not sure what I saw out there, but I'm not taking any chances. And you see Kendo here. It's kind of cool that they actually give Kendo some character in this, because you see him for like, what, 1 minute in Resident Evil 2? And he kind of explains, he doesn't know what's going on, but he sold more ammo in a year. Today, in 1 day, than in the whole year. And then this guy goes on to say, all I know is once I fix up the zoo's electrical grid, going straight home and locking myself in. So this guy's got plans already to leave. Well, not leave, but just kind of hold himself up. So we see this character kind of do his own thing, lights up, drives away, stops for gas, obviously, and this is where things go wrong. It's like, where the hell is the attendant? I would be very cautious if this guy bought weapons because he doesn't know what's going on. But hey, comic. So this guy comes in, which is the attendant, and he shoves the gasoline right up his mouth, and he's breaking his teeth too. Just kind of gruesome. And obviously this guy's drinking gas, and then during the struggle, he drops his cigarette, and it just kind of blows up the entire gas station. Hey, don't light up in the gas station. Then this guy comes out. It's like, whoa, that was close. He's asking the zombies what happened, but by the time it's too late. They kind of grab him by the time he finds out what's going on, and they just kind of dismember this guy. But then Leon comes in and freaking wielding 2 guns, and he just headshots 2 zombies at the same time. And here he is. What's going on in this town? This place looks like hell on earth. So yeah, he just kind of acts these two guys, and then the fat guy's kind of already done for. And after that, that kind of ends that series right there. Well, that comic. Strategy hints that you get in any strategy guide, or I think these were in the booklet. I don't know why they added this. I guess it was filler. So after that, they kind of announce how the horror has just begun. They're gonna make the second one. This one is just as good too. I'll be reviewing this one. If not tomorrow, the next day after, because I got a pretty busy schedule tomorrow. Sorry, it's yeah, I'm kind of really busy Wednesday and Thursday. But yeah, that's the in-depth review of Resident Evil. I honestly don't know if they're still printing these. Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know if they're still making these, like reprints. I wonder how much this one's going, because this is the first print. I just noticed that. Oh, there it is, first printing. Probably not a lot, but if you find this, get it. These guys, obviously, they were huge fans. Oh, dude, there was a couple people. You were wondering how many people were reading this. There was, if you joined forums back in the day, a lot of people were into this. They were really excited. I know my sister pushed this comic when she started working at a comic shop. She actually wrote in on one of the issues. But yeah, it's really good. This is how it should be done in the movies. I know it's kind of boring for some, they would consider it, but if you stay faithful to the source material, people will buy it. I mean, that's what I wanted. That's what a lot of people wanted. They just wanted the comic book, the video game in comic book form. So if you see this, buy it. What, $5 if they still are charging for the original price? Yeah, $7.50 in Canada. It's amazing. You could tell these guys were really passionate about making this comic. They were excited. Yeah, that does it for this in-depth review / hangout. Hope you enjoyed it. I know some of you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And what? Okay, I got all 5 for less than 100, and I think the 5th one is the rarest. It's the only one I have that wasn't in great shape. Wow, I did not know that. So these things are they expensive now? Damn. I got these when they came out. Pretty good condition, actually, now that I was reading it. But I've had these for so long, and I just didn't know if they'd still printed these. But yeah, I mean, if you see these, get them. They're really good. Yeah, I give it a 5 thumbs up, all the way up to the knuckle. Again, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.